So I'm going to go on mute, just so you know.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Lindy, did anybody mention whether we should mention that Clearance has a free trial going on till the end of the year? Is that something that you were going to discuss?
Yeah, I have it as part of the very end of the presentation.
Okay, great. Oh,
Yeah,
looks like we have an attendee. I'm going on
okay,
mute.
thank you. Good afternoon. We have a few more minutes before we're going to get started. We're also going to give everybody a good couple of minutes after the starting time before we actually do get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. This will be a demonstration on our Genetec clearance. Excuse me. My name is Lindy Nolan. I am a channel sales specialist. I cover the central US states. So shout out and hello to anyone who actually is in David Brainerd's territory or Renan Woods. I am your channel sales specialist. I do your quotes and your orders. Excuse me, I'm a little congested today. I do have a co-host with me today. We have one of our regional sales engineers, Howard Rosenthal. Howard, would you like to say a few things? Introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, Lindy. Thanks for the introduction. Yes, I'm Howard Rosenthal. I'm the channel sales engineer for the Northeast region, and I will be manning the questions box today. So if any questions come up during this webinar, everyone's currently on mute. If anyone has any questions, just type your questions in the question box and I'll get to them as soon as I can.
Thank you. And Howard, you'll let me know if you need me to just take a little pause so you can answer some questions, okay?
Sure.
So Genetec Clearance is a collaborative digital case management system that can speed up investigations by allowing you to securely collect, manage, and share evidence all in one location. A VMS is the primary system that organizations use to monitor and review video. However, when an event occurs, recordings typically have to be shared with parties without access to the client. This is one of the challenges many of our clients were looking to overcome. As they wanted to reduce the risk of sharing evidence via USB and the time that it requires, or in the olden days, even CDs. Through a security desk, a user can export recordings directly into Clearance. Videos are assigned to the user with permissions to the case that is selected at the export. Uploads are encrypted, and only users within these departments can have access to the recordings to avoid the loss of sensitive data. Clients can also configure the category and assign a retention period that will automatically delete files based on the policies prescribed by an organization. For example, videos that need to be shared externally can be deleted after 30 to 60 days, while files that must be kept due to litigations can be conserved for several months or even years. Clearance is also integrated with Active Directory, which allows organizations to use their existing Active Directory. Sorry. Clearance is designed as a completely independent application. It is entirely browser-based to ensure that it requires access to evidence that do not need to install any applications, such as a standalone video player. It can not only be used with the Security Center, but recordings from other VMS, documents, and photos, and any other type of digital files. These can be sources such as body wearable cameras, in-car systems, cell phones, CAD or computer-aided dispatch, RMS or record management systems, and others. In the home page, you'll see My Activities. These are cases in which you store your information inside your case. The case is the primary entity type in Clearance, where you can associate access rights, files, and other metadata, such as incident times, locations, and tags. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to create a case. So under Home page, you can see these are some of the active cases that I've actually created. I'm going to just create a sample case here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually give it a name. And just for test purposes, we're just going to call this test and today's date. So this is an active, this is just a demo purposes. So I'm just going to make made up information on this. So today I have a couple of videos that actually take place that are an assault. So we're actually going to label this as assault. And we're going to say that actually I'm going to change that and say that this incident took place yesterday. Tags can be as many tags as you actually need to add. The more custom tags that you add, the easier it is to search. So in this case, I'm just going to put assault, fight, location is actually connected to Google Maps. So as you start typing in a location, it will actually fill in the address. So as you're in a case, it's always important to actually save and save often. So as you can see, once I click save, it actually generated the permissions field, and it also gives you options to load files. Files uploaded from the plugin are automatically decoded, so users can view them directly from the app. There's a plugin for any of our Genetec Security Center users that is actually available for free that can actually plug in from Security Center and automatically load videos from the Security Center into Clearance. Clearance tracks all user actions in the system to ensure chain of evidence is maintained. By tracking source metadata and activity, we can ensure that the integrity of the evidence and validate that only authorized sources have access to that evidence. There are several methods to upload files in Clearance. For Security Center users, as mentioned, they can automatically be added from the GSC plugin. Users can also upload files from other VMS or systems like body cameras or in-car cameras using the Clearance uploader. It's designed to actually upload larger files much quicker. Just like the GSC plugin, users can assign files to new or existing cases. Clearance supports a range of proprietary file formats, which are automatically be decoded in Clearance. For our Security Center users, you're pretty familiar with the file of G64. That's the file that is actually saved in Security Center. And in our Clearance, it automatically reads and decodes these files. No need for a video player. The most common way of actually adding files is directly adding them from your computer. So as you can see, I have some files and I'm actually going to show you just how quick and easy it is to just select them and drop them right into our case. As you can see, it automatically starts loading them into the Clearance case. The Clearance mobile app can also be used by officers, detectives, and security guards to transfer photos, recordings, and witness statements directly into Clearance. Evidence captured by the app is encrypted and deleted from the device once uploaded to Clearance. It's always important to remember to save to not lose your work. So I'm going to save now. Even though we're not quite done loading, it's still going to actually save it. So you don't have to wait until everything is completely loaded. So if we were to take a look at one of these files, this one's 96%, just by clicking on it, you can automatically load the preview. Excuse me. So with Clearance, there's a two-step process for video. First, it's going to actually save it as an original G64 file. And then we can also download it and save it as an MP4, which can be viewed without proprietary software, such as the Genetec player. MP4s play in most media readers automatically, and it also plays automatically in the browser in Clearance as well. Excuse me. As you can see, it automatically takes the metadata from our Security Center and has all the information on the clip on the audit trail in front of us. So Clearance is best used in newer web browsers such as Chrome, Edge, or Firefox. It really doesn't like Internet Explorer. It becomes very, very slow in Internet Explorer. As you can see, we have the rest of our files already saved into our case. As you're playing the video back, if you use the scroll wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in and out without extra buttons. So not every file will be able to actually be viewed inside Clearance. Of course, the videos will be able to, but anything such as documents like Word documents, if you click on it, you can't get a preview in the browser, but you can download it. and it still stores all of your files directly with your evidence so that everything is in one safe, secure spot. There are 11 codecs that can be previewed with the standard clearance. There are 80 that can be added at an additional cost. If you were to go down to the question mark here under help, there's all kinds of information about clearance and how to actually best use clearance, including your user guide. So under the clearance user guide, if you click on this, there is file formats that you can I apologize. I needed one extra step. So under managing files, file formats you can preview in the Genetec clearance. So as you can see, these are the ones that come into the Genetec clearance by default. There is an additional 80 codecs that can actually be added if needed to the clearance to be able to view multiple different formats. Just going to go back into the case real quick. Excuse me. So you can also add files from your computer, such as audio documents, images, videos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a new folder. Oops, sorry. So I'm just going to create a folder just to put any of the actual documents into this folder. Okay, so anything that actually like is a PDF or a Word document, I'm going to store those under our documents folder. Sorry, having difficulty. Okay, so we just move it to our documents folder. And now you can see that we have just our video clips and any of the documents all neatly tucked into a folder. And once again, always remember to save. So under permissions, there are several different categories that can actually be shared, used for sharing files. There is 4 different permissions. Under here, you can have view only, which they can only view things, view and download, which mean they can actually download any of the evidence that is inside the case, and they can also add evidence to the case. Edit and manage. So edit means, I apologize, for view and download only, they can only view and download the documents and the files that are on the case. If it's edit means that they can upload files and they can delete files. Manage means that they can actually give permissions to other people, they can change anything, and of course they can edit, view, and download any of the things that are inside the case. We want to really be careful to actually give only the rights to manage to people who have the ability to actually give permission to other people. If a case or evidence is requested, guest users can be invited to the case. Permissions can be assigned to each user to limit or to grant their access to the case. Generally, a guest user will be given view only or download rights. Edit permissions allows a user to add files and data to the case, while manage permissions allows users to add, remove users to the investigation. Clearance enables collaboration across independent agencies and private sector organizations. Now I'll show you how to add a guest email. So for this purposes, I actually have a generic Gmail account, which I'm going to actually use under my name. So for file requests, an incident where a witness captures a recording from their phone or after a mass event that have occurred in public, clearance users can also create a public request link. This link can be shared via text, email, or posted to social media to allow contributors to transfer their evidence to the authorities. There is no file size restrictions for these transfers. All users must authenticate to access clearance, whether a primary or guest user. A link cannot be copied, shared to a person without credentials to ensure the security of the information. They cannot search for cases or files or report other information in the system. They are restricted to only the files that they are invited to. And again, it's reminding me that I have unsaved changes, and it's reminding me if I want to actually leave this page, which I don't, because I definitely want to actually press save so that my guest user will be saved. So from here, if I click on file request, you can see that I have no file request open. But if I go into request, there's all requests and my request. These are anybody who may actually have access to your clearance, and these are our access that you've actually completed yourself. Okay, so in this case, I am the approver, and I am going to take a look at this and say, this is actually, I apologize. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll go back to that in a minute. Howard, I apologize. I have forgotten how to get into the guest email. Do you remember how to do that?
You mean to invite a guest?
So I invited my fake email, but I can't remember. Do I check my email for that particular invite? There should be a way to actually get a
Yeah.
QR code.
You need to check that email.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. Okay, so I get an email saying that Liberty City has approved my video request. So if I go into view request, and I'm going to sign in using my fake email. Okay, so this is a custom terms and condition. This can be actually changed and modified however you need to, but as you can see, it does pop up with terms and conditions which have to be agreed to before someone can actually proceed. Oh dear. So as you can see, as a guest user, I only have the ability to see the evidence. I don't have the ability to be able to add anything to the files. I can view it. I can view the details on it. So this is our audit trail. This gives us all of our different metadata from the file itself. I can also download it, which I'm not going to do right now. If you look under the request, I can also request video. Okay, this is the camera registry, isn't it? Okay, so we're just going to create a request detail. So I'm going to just say that I'm with the legal department, that I'm an investigator that can't spell. And then we're just going to give it a fake incident number. And then from here, you can actually add a subpoena if you need to actually add to your request. And then you can also choose when the evidence needs to actually be provided. Okay, so I have one request. Okay, so I went back into the case and I'm the actual approver. So there has to be an approver on the account who can actually approve or deny that these are actually valid for the case, and it's not just a cat video or something like that. So I'm going to just automatically approve. Okay, so I'm just gonna looking for some video. Okay, from here I can add files. So for the file requests, anyone using this file can add files to the case without viewing its content. So this is how you actually can display this over public email, text, Twitter, get any type of request to actually submit your evidence. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up the link. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to take a few seconds because this is an actual QR code. And if you have your phones handy, if you want to go ahead and try to scan that QR code, it will invite you to invite you to add files to our case. And Howard, since I've actually taken a pause here, do we have any questions?
No questions yet, Lindy.
Okay, so again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to actually put them into the chat window and Howard will be able to actually see them and help answer any of the questions that you have. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and type in. Okay. So, and again, you have to read and accept the terms, and then you can share files. So from here, I have a clip that I'm going to add to our case. And our file has been shared successfully. So if I go back into our clearance homepage, you can see that this was the case that I created for the file that I just added. And here's the preview. So under view details, this is our audit trail. So it records audit information from the system that sent the recording, including information about the system, the user, and the source. And actually, I'm going to add this to our, oh, I don't have the incident number. Let me see. And again, I'm going to make sure that I save it. If I go back into the case, it should actually be added now. And there it is. So as I was talking about the audit trail, so the audit trail gives you the details all about the clip. There is an option too. You can also manually put in any of the information that may actually be provided from clips that aren't from a GSC account. And as you can see, it does kind of create extra tabs, but if you get too many tabs and you can't exactly remember where your case is, you can always close out all of your tabs, and then you can just simply go back to your home page. Okay, so I only have a few more things I want to actually show you. Search is pretty self-explanatory. You can actually search cases and files. You can also sort by multiple different filters. The more tags that there are, the easier it is to actually find anything related to those particular incidents. You can sort by category, you can sort by date and time, the case status, case associations, file associations, device assignments. You can always go back to search, or you can always also go back to home, and then you should be able to actually see your cases here. Howard, do we have any questions?
No questions yet, Lindy. I think you're covering it
Okay.
all.
So, I'm sorry?
I said, I think you're covering it all.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. So inside Clearance, we also have the video editor, which allows for video redaction. So redaction helps to actually keep the privacy of anyone who shouldn't actually be in our video. So I'm just going to give this just a few minutes, and I'll show you how to actually use our video editor. So our video editor will actually pick up faces, and it will start with a mask. And I'm going to give that just a minute while it's working. So all I did was I was in our case, and I looked at one of the files that were there, and I clicked on it to preview, and then I clicked on redact video. So let's see if it's gotten enough chance to actually start the redaction. So videos can be redacted directly in Clearance. We've developed an intuitive tool to ensure non-video editors can easily redact the video in very little time. A face detection analytic can be used to accelerate the process. Front-facing individuals are detected by the analytic, and users can select the ones that will be redacted. If the analytic does not detect certain individuals, such as heads that are turned, faces are too small or concealed, video quality is poor, the manual redaction process can be used to mask the remaining faces or individuals in the video. Once finished, a copy of the video will be created by the system. The original video is never modified to ensure the integrity of the evidence. And it's that original that you would actually use for any type of court cases. So of course, no video analytic is perfect. Sometimes different things such as hats, sunglasses, veils, etc. So in this video, I'm just going to play it for a few seconds. You can see that it picked up 2 faces. And from here, we're going to actually cover up a few more. Okay, so we're going to click mask all, and then we'll play. This little diamond here will allow you to actually advance the video or move it back. I apologize. I should have already started the redaction of the video. So this eye with a slash through it will actually unmask people in the video. So we don't want to click that. And as you can see in this video, this takes place in a convenience store. This particular clerk actually is trying to be helpful to this woman. She's giving her something that she's asked for. And you're going to see this coming up in just a second. There's going to be quite a reaction that was caught on camera. I apologize. I thought it would have given it enough time. So as you can see, there are various different cameras that have actually been added to this particular case. And one of those ways that we can actually add to a case is through our camera registry. So let me see how okay, so we're going to continue editing on this. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not giving me the option to add another mask. Oh, there we go. Okay, so from here, we can see that it's actually detected two faces, and they are actually the same person, but you can see that this is the portion of the video that they've actually found this person in the video. You can change the tracking speed up or down. This is kind of a fast-moving video, so I'm just going to change that just a little bit. And then from there, I'm going to back it up just a little bit. And I'm going to create a new mask, and we're going to cover this young lady at the counter. You can grab the right-hand corner and you can expand it. She moved a little quickly on me, sorry. Back it up a little bit. Okay, so the mask can actually be expanded in the right-hand corner, and you can reduce it. And there's the third mask that I added earlier, and she moved a little too quickly, so I didn't quite gather her. But as you can see, you can put the mask over that person. And you can create as many masks as you need. And one of the things that as you are trying to actually create the mask, if you click on this little blue arrow, it will go slower and you can move it gradually as the frame moves. Okay, so he's out of the picture now. Let's just kind of back up a little bit. So as you can see, it started to actually build several masks in the same video. So it keeps a copy of the original, but it also makes a new created video. So in order to actually see the redacted video, if you view last created video, you should be able to see some of the masks appear. Okay, so I'm not going to save this, but I do have one that is actually already redacted, so I can kind of show you what that looks like. So as you can see, this one has a reduction of a blurry face. And you can see here that they've been blurred out here as well. And you can have two different types of masks. You can have the blur, or you can have just a black box. So here you can see the clerk is being helpful again and again. There's the lady that slaps her. She brings her back into the store. And as the video progresses, they do contact the police, and the police take it from there. But that's how easy it is to do video redaction in clearance. Okay, so I started talking about this and I kind of got ahead of myself, but the camera registry. So clearance is actually having a free trial currently through December 31st, which would not include the camera registry. It would just be a free trial, and the registry would actually be part of one of the purchased clearance applications. So if you were to think about, we're in Montreal. So here in Montreal, we have a university called McGill University. So McGill has all kinds of students and staff and security, police department, you know, and then of course there's the Montreal police as well. So it can be a real challenge if someone wants to request a video. It requires them to burn it to disk or share it on a USB. It's difficult to track. It's timely. It's easy to misplace, or it could get put into the wrong hands. With camera registry, it actually eliminates that. Well, clearance eliminates that, but in camera registry, it also makes it much easier to access any cameras that has video that needs to be requested. So if it's a security center system that has the GSC plugin for clearance, we can automatically see any of the cameras that are on that system, and we can easily send camera footage to our case. Any of the VMS that is not Security Center can actually upload their cameras into a spreadsheet. But this helps to actually eliminate the amount of time that it takes to actually see cameras that are around you and figure out, okay, this camera may have actually had evidence at this time, this one may not have had evidence. But you can request, approve, and add to a case within minutes. Sometimes these types of approvals and additions can require days or weeks even. And with the clearance and the permissions that are given and the camera registry, it completely eliminates the time and the amount of effort that it takes to be able to get these additional cameras. So these are all cameras that are on this particular Security Center platform. And so we're going to do a camera registry in which we are going to invite a guest, which is what I did earlier. So I'm going to choose these two cameras and then request all videos. And for our demo purposes, I'm actually going to change the date for yesterday. And I'm going to say I want 2 minutes of video between 2:43 and 2:45. Okay. And if we want to link it to a case, we can select the case. Okay, and then we can also choose the location.
You'll need to,
What's that? Oh, I changed the date, sorry. Thank you. Okay, and then you click next. Okay, so then if we go into request, you'll see my request, and they're asking for those two cameras, and I'm just gonna approve it. And then if I complete the review, if we go back into our case,
I think it might still be processing.
yeah, I think I need to refresh. No, that's the one I did earlier. Okay, so yeah, I think earlier the complete review was actually gray, so I couldn't actually click on it. And I'm actually just going to put partially completed. And then if I press F5 to refresh it, I view the case. Okay, so there's the vestibule camera that we added. And okay, so we can definitely see that the vestibule camera was added. Maybe I didn't click on the other camera like I thought I did, but it was definitely added to our case. So that's really all I have to share with you. Before I actually get done, I just want to actually go over the advantages of using Clearance. So Clearance allows you to collect your digital evidence into one centralized location. No need to have multiple files, multiple locations, multiple videos, multiple photos. It's all in one location. Clearance manage who has the access to the system and to the case information. It helps to simplify investigations by collaborating with users. It's secure case information, and it's easy to find cases and files within the system. Howard, do we have any questions for us?
No, we don't, Lindy.
Okay, well, I really appreciate your time today and I appreciate your patience. And if you have any questions or if you'd like further information, you can always reach out to channelsales@genetec.com. And I appreciate your time and attention today. Thank you so much, Howard, for all your help.
Sure, thank you.
Have a good day.